Hey, let me tell you something. You are not the only one who's thinking of that amazing idea right now. There are other people thinking of the same exact idea. Maybe you are thinking of opening up fast food, maybe restaurant, maybe a hair salon, maybe startup, whatever, you name it. But you are not the only one who is thinking of that right now. There are other people around the world having the same idea. But what's the difference? Someone execute, someone doesn't. That's the only difference. Otherwise, anything over than that, we all have great ideas. We all thinking of, hey, that would be amazing if we would, build that app where you can do this and that or XYZ. We all have that idea, but the difference is you are not moving, you are not executing, and someone else will do that sooner or later, and then you will be sorry for yourself. The only thing you're like, oh, I was thinking of that too. Oh, all right, yeah. The difference is execute, or maybe you already have a business. Maybe you are already running a startup. Maybe you already have a restaurant. Maybe you already have a fast food. Maybe you already have a hair salon. Maybe in your hair salon, you are thinking to come with some sort of loyalty programs where you can attract more clients or lock them in as a long term loyal customers by, hey, you know what, I'm gonna set up this machine or this system in my hair salon, and everybody when they come, after when they get their service, when they want to come to the cashier to pay, I'm gonna tell them, hey, you know what, write your email and your phone number, and for every haircut that you get, you're gonna get some points, and then your third or fourth or fifth haircut is going to be free on us. And then just like that, you can lock that customer in, so they're not gonna go away from you and go to any other hair salon. But you are just wasting time. I'm gonna do it today. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Nah, it's not gonna work. Over, I'm leaving the culture, the city, the country. You gotta blame everything, everybody. Oh, I didn't find the software. Oh, I was thinking of that. You're not gonna do it until the point that is going. All the other hair salons in your town, they're gonna apply that strategy to their business, and then it's already too late for you. So that's the only difference, guys. Look, when I started the list, actually, I want to talk about how I started the list today. So when I started the list, it was early 2018, and with no tech background, nothing. I mean, the only thing I knew from my laptop, it was just opening up whenever I wanted to go to on a vacation or something, just go to Booking.com, Airbnb, I know, book my accommodation or airline ticket. That's all. Or anything beside than that, it was like going on YouTube, watching, uh, things like South Park or comedy movies and, stand-up comedies, music, and so on. That was my only relation with tech. I'm not kidding, guys. My only, and I was those kind of guys that I had the same password, easy password across all my devices and emails and you name it, social media, and every time forgetting the same password and just click on forgot password, set up something, and after 1 month forgetting again. So that was my only relation with tech. So here I am. It was early 2018. I was in my friend house. I was sitting, in the balcony, and it was like 10 p.m. and I wanted to order some food for me and my friend. And you know, I was into the delivery app. And meanwhile, I mean, I always had this problem. Before the delivery apps, it was kind of pain in the ass, You had some only some options. You didn't know all the places that they can deliver to your location, and most probably this burger place or that pizza place or a couple of other more. And then you had to call them and waiting online until they pick up, and sometimes it's the accent, sometimes you don't hear them, sometimes they don't hear you. And again, you're not gonna ask them, hey, read me all the items on your menu. It's not gonna happen. Most probably you're gonna ask like, hey, tell me the salads. I mean, the salads, she's gonna tell you, a couple of salads, and then you're not gonna ask, oh, is there any walnut in it or any cucumber, or I mean, so many details, right? And then what about the appetizers and so on? So you were like kind of like ordering fast online on the phone, and then the delivery guy was showing up. You didn't know the exact estimation, and maybe you want to take a shower, right? I called, I ordered. Now I don't know, it's gonna arrive in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 50, you know so you had to wait, and then maybe you didn't have the enough change, or maybe the delivery guy didn't have the change to give you back, and all these kind of headaches, right? So, and then here comes the delivery apps. Make our life easier. You go to the app, you surf, you find the things you want. As a matter of fact, I have noticed like so many people, including me, when we go to the checkout page, we are like, oh, that's too expensive. Oh, let me remove this appetizer. Let me remove that salad. I don't need the Coke. All right, it's good. Or I don't want to get fat tonight. So, or why should I pay so much? Okay, that's fine, right? So you're gonna edit your checkout page, and then you pay, boom, and there's an option, just leave it outside of the door in case you want to jump into the shower. So I was like, hey, that would be good. Why there is not such a thing for the hospitality industry, for restaurants, nightclubs, beach bars, and so on, right? When we want to go out to do reservations. So that was the moment when the list hit my mind. And I was like, and you know what? Right after when I finished my delivery and I paid and I was waiting, for my food to arrive, I wanted to actually book a nightclub table for uh, for my girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, for my ex-girlfriend birthday the night after, right? And as a matter of fact, the nightclub that I was going to book a table, I knew the owners, I knew the general managers, I knew the mate, the host, everybody in there. It's kind of like a second home, right? I knew these people, I grew up with them, I was partying with them. And to me, it was just to send a text message, not even call, like, hey, get me this table. And I knew they would going to take care of me and give me the best table. But even I was lazy to do that. I was like, I mean, come on. If you get the delivery app from me, I'm not gonna die or something. I'm still gonna call the restaurants, right? Or if tomorrow Uber shut down, we're not gonna stay in the middle of the road. We're still gonna call the taxi, and the cabs are gonna come pick us up. But it's the whole point is that these apps, they make our lives easier, and people, they love easy life. Life is short. Yeah, we don't want to go through it. We already have lots of headaches and stuff like that, and going through so many situations. Maybe someone's going through financial situation, maybe someone is sick, maybe there's political situation, you name it. Now when it comes down going out, partying, dinner, ordering a pizza, okay, enough is enough. I'm paying, I just want to have fun. I don't want to go through headaches and stuff like that. So I was even lazy to send a text message. And I was like, "Ah, I gotta call them, and I gotta call, my friend." But I was like, 2 weeks ago they had the opening. They called me, they text me as a client to invite me there. I didn't pick up. And now I was just lazy for the first, like, because I knew if I call them, they're going to be like, hey, what's up, bro? How you doing? Oh, I called you 2 weeks ago, you motherfucker. Why you didn't show up? I was, oh, yeah, you're coming. Right? So I wanted to avoid all that. And then I was like, why there is no app? Just like few minutes ago that I ordered my food hassle free. Why there is no app that I could also book my table hassle free? And anyway, that was it. Then the food came, we ate, we watched movie, we played, stuff like that. And day after I woke up, I was like, no, that's a stupid idea. It's not gonna work. Day after I woke up, I was like, oh shit, I gotta do this. I'm already too late. So next day, I'm like, nah, it's not gonna work. Next day, I'm like, oh damn, I'm too late. I gotta do. So this situation passed for like 2 months. One day I was like, nah, it's not a good idea. Next day I'm like, yeah, it's a good idea. Until one day I'm waking up and I'm like, damn man, this is the next big thing. I gotta do it. But then I'm like, I don't know shit how to start. No idea. Like, no idea about tech, right? Um, So then I start like Googling, looking for companies, for agencies that, they build software like websites, mobile apps, stuff like that. And that time I was in Athens, Greece. And so I found a few, agencies and companies, like a third party, like, the companies that they offer this kind of services. And then I went to a few of those, and then the last one that I visited, like these guys, they look really legit, like big ass offices, like over 200 um, employees, and they had some also like big projects in Greece. And then I'm sharing my idea with their CEO, and then he liked it, and he's like, um, yeah, we can do that for you. So give us a few days so we come up with the proposal for you, price breakdown, estimations, and all that. I'm like, good, all right. Then I'm out. They emailed me after some days. They gave me a proposal. Like the estimation was about 1 year until your app be ready. There are restaurant reservation system and a mobile app. So to be ready, and then so I go back there again, and we had a discussion. And now during this, guys, I want to also tell you my mistakes so you guys can avoid if you are about to build something, or if you have any idea that you want to execute. I want to just transfer my humble experience in here so you guys can avoid doing the same mistakes. So now, second time I went to their CEO office, um, he told me that, man, this is a brilliant idea, and I want to be a part of it. And I'm not gonna charge you for the development, and let's do this 50-50. But I was young, I was bold, and I was like, um, no, why should I do that? I don't need you. I can't pay you. I have my savings, and I have some family support, thank God. And I don't need you, right? So maybe if I would partner up with him, I wouldn't go through like so many problems and hassles that I went through. Or maybe that was a really good chance that I told him no. That was a really good thing that I told him no, because later on it looks like the guy was kind of like a scam. And I tell you why. So, anyways, I signed a deal with them. I signed the agreement with them, and I made a down payment deposit of it was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 15,000 euros. And then few meetings with their team, and going through the whole vision, stuff like that, etc., etc. And then I had my roadmap, my timeline, so they are going to build. And then I was just following up every week, going there, having meetings, weekly meetings, updating stuff like that. So every time I'm like, guys, let's say after a month pass, and again, I'm talking about like early 2018, when I had no idea about building apps. All I was thinking, hey, these guys are going to build my app. I'm a client. I pay them. And when the app is ready, I'm going to fill it up with restaurants, nightclubs, beach bars. People are going to use it. Locals, travelers, especially Greece is a touristic place, right? Over 30 million tourists visiting Greece every year. So that's a big thing. Now, it's a small country. Like during winter, the Greek islands are shut down. Most of them, like the clubs, the beaches, and all that. And Athens, mostly like people, they know each other, and they like now 2025, yeah, everybody making online bookings. 2018, nobody was making online bookings in many countries. Now, if we're talking about Greece, um, zero, like nobody, like everybody were just calling someone, they met, or texting, or hey, I'm coming, and stuff like that. And then I'm like, all right, so yeah, 30 million tourists coming to the country every year, every summer. And even if half of those use my app for only one time booking, that was my whole business model, right? One time. I mean, imagine they download the app, they book something, they don't like it, they delete the app next day. Or they go to they show up on their reservation, and next day they go back to their country. And then I was making my calculation. I was like, wow, I'm making lots of millions of euros. That was my whole, you know, mindset and strategy. Then I'm like, boom, I'm gonna be a billionaire. And then so all I was waiting for these guys to give me my product. So 1 month passed, 2 months passed, 3 months, And then I'm like, guys, what happened? Any demo or something? Yeah, development. They were just doing back and forth. So, and then like after almost 5 6 months, they start showing me the demo and like a beta thing. And then I started, you know, preparing the agreements with the restaurants. Reaching out to some restaurants, talking to them, hey, I'm building this, it's gonna be ready. They all loved it, they all loved it. I even did some um, pre-signing agreements. And after some time, I understood actually nothing is ready from that software company. Nothing was ready. No product, nothing. It was just a stupid, dumb beta that nothing was working. And long story, I make it short for you guys, we ended up to the court. They wasted 1 year of my life, all my savings, and I even, went out to the market, did so many pre-signings, talk about the app with everyone, and now here's the idea is spread out all over Athens. And the restaurants, they are like, hey, you told me like the app is ready, the system is ready, like in 1 month, in 2 months, 3 months, and what happened? I said, so it was all those pressures on me. And of course I had to stress, oh my god, how about if someone copy my idea, you name it. So anyway, we ended up to the court. I got half of my money back, half was gone, and then 1 year of my life is gone too. And then here I am, like a little kid who was expecting for his toy to arrive, but it did not. And I felt, seriously, I felt like a little boy in the middle of the street. I never forget the moment that I went into the argue with them and with the CEO, that I understood nothing is ready and these guys are just delaying and delaying and delaying. Basically, you know what happened? They took absolute advantage of me not having the enough knowledge of tech. They absolutely took advantage of that. They were like, oh, here's another guy having an idea. He thinks he can be a millionaire just like that through tech. And, you know, I was no priority for them. They didn't assign like senior or even mid or even like decent junior developers to my project. No decent architect, no decent infrastructure, nothing. And bunch of like spaghetti codes, and then nothing was working, written in a really poor PHP language, and so many other problems coming with it. Now, excuse me. Now, so I never forget when I went down and I was going, I was just in the middle of the street. So I went out of their offices, and I felt just like a little boy, like 5 6 7 years old, that just want to sit down in the middle of the street and cry and say, no, I want my toy right now. I need my toy right now. Right? I paid for it. You promised me it's my birthday. I need my toy. So then I'm going back home, and then I'm like, damn. So what about now? 1 year passed. Idea spread it out. Half of my money is gone. What am I supposed to do right now? So then I reached out to one of my friends from back in college, that he was studying software engineering, and he was a good developer too. And I knew this guy, like he was kind of a friend. He was Persian too. And by the way, guys, um, it's kind of really hard to be Persian in this world. Now let me define that for you. Um, you know, Imagine if someone breaks out of North Korea, right? North Korea, I think I really feel bad for their people, and sooner or later, I mean, I'm already praying for their people that as soon as possible they can get their freedom and have a decent life. But if someone break out of North Korea, um, after that, the world's gonna help that person, because hey, he broke out of North Korea. He has nothing to do with their government, and they're gonna give them like a citizenship, or he's gonna find his way, right? And but being Persian from Iran, that we can't say in our country, um, because they're killing us. Our country has been hijacked for the past 46 years from mullahs that they are non-Persians and they're dictators, and no one knows where this guy came from. And they were just killing Persians and killing and destroy our culture and history. You can just YouTube it and you can see so many like documentaries that you will start crying eventually. Like so many of my friends, like my European friends, my American friends. I mean, if you ask anybody that he or she are over like 50, 60, 70 years old, if you ask them about Iran, the only thing you're gonna hear, like if you ask them about Iran when we had the kingdom, like 46 years ago when we had the Shah, um, if you ask them, they all gonna be like, "Oh, the best country out there. Oh, it was a dream country. Everybody wanted to live there. Everybody wanted to work there. Oh my God, that was like we used to travel to Iran, to come back to our countries to show off. Or it was like the super luxury like place, and Iran was becoming the, worldwide power. But, um, yeah. So the rest is history. You can YouTube it now. Unfortunately, you know, most of my countrymates, they got executed and they got killed by the mullahs. And those like me, that we were lucky enough that we had the chance to exit the country and start all over new again. Now you can imagine it's not easy to move to a new country and start everything new, no friends, you don't know the language, etc., etc. And again, why it's hard to being Persian? I want to go back to the first point that I was talking about, because inside your country, you're basically fucked. You have to find a way to get out, and when you get out, you are more fucked. You can't open easily bank accounts. Anytime you open bank accounts, sooner or later, your bank accounts is going to be shut down, and residence permit is an issue. If the society will accept you or not, all these psychological issues. You used to have a great country, and now you're walking in the street somewhere, someone is asking you where you're from, you say Iran, and they get away, or they think you're a terrorist, or all those kind of things, because the mullahs are terrorists. Actually, they're the head of terrorism in the region and in the world. And by the way, right now that we're talking, there's a serious attack going on between Israel and Iran, and I hope sooner or later Iran become freeze, and they kill or they capture these mullahs that they have destroyed our beautiful country for the past 46 years, and we become free again, and Middle East will be a much better region, and the whole world will be a more peaceful and lovely place to live. Because imagine, like, you remove the biggest um, terrorist cartel organizations in the whole planet, right? Now, so I had also all these things, right? Money was an issue, residence permit. I'm not even sure if next year they are going to um, give me a new residence permit so I could stay in Greece, and all that, right? And I see my country is getting destroyed, so you name it. So going through so many like problems personally or in business wise, you name it. Now, here I am, and then I'm like, damn, what am I supposed to do? So I was basically, you know, I was waiting for my product so I can go launch it and sign up restaurants, but I have nothing. So I reached out to one of my friend who's Persian too, and I was telling you that I knew him, back in college. He was studying software engineering, and successful guy, self-made. He made his own way. Back in college, I was in Budapest in Hungary, right? So when I left Iran, so I was in Hungary, and then my my friend was he was studying in Budapest in the technical university too, but in a different department because he was doing software engineering. And so he found his way. He went to the United States, and living in California, working in some of the biggest tech companies. So I'm like, I'm trusting this guy. So I pick up the phone, I called him, and I'm like, hey dude, you know, I explained the whole story, what happened, my idea, my vision, and how I got fucked in this ad source company. And he's like, "Yeah, I can help you." I'm like, "Oh, thank God," you know. So, because I have no tech background, right? I'm like, "So you could help me at least. I could gather my own in-house team, you know, right? We hire developers, and I could start everything all over again, but of course with less budget." So he's like, "Yes, I can help you." So he started helping me with a couple of first interviews. So I hired a couple of devs, and but we couldn't continue a lot because we had 10 hours time difference between Athens and LA. So it was hard for me, hard for him, and a couple of that's it. I mean, even I knew he was married, he was busy already with his work, so he told me that all he can do for me. So a couple of interviews, I hired my first devs in house, and we start everything all over again. And now we are talking about um, early 2019, right? So we got the first couple of devs, and then I'm like, "Thank you, bud," to my my friend from LA. I'm like, "Thank you. We're gonna take it all over. We're gonna take it from here." And then with my two hired the developers, we started going through the rest of the interviews. Now, here is the funny thing. I had this very small home office, and it was no monitor. It was basically just a couch and a desk. No laptops, no monitors, no cables, no mouses, no nothing, no keyboards, right? So anybody who's coming in for interview, they were kind of like, "What's going on in here? Like what is it? Like, hey, is it even a tech company?" And then we interviewed like 1,000 developers online and in house. Half of those were just not for us. They didn't answer to any questions. They had a really low knowledge. Most probably, I mean, most of them they lied in their CVs, and yeah, so they got rejected. Now, the other half that they were good and they came from decent companies, they all had this fear. They're like, "Hey, I'm already somewhere. I'm already good. I'm already have a having a salary. Why should I trust this guy and work for him as a startup anyway? And he might disappear in like the next 2 3 months." So I never forget. It was we were looking for an Android developer, and then so it was this Android developer coming from Vodafone Greece, a big company, right? And big name, big brand. And then, he told me, "Dude, your idea is good. And, you know, I really like it, but I have wife and 2 kids, and I'm working in Vodafone. So I know I'm secure over there, and Vodafone is not going to disappear, and I'm going to get paid every month. But how about if I come here and you pay me the first month, the second month, and then the third month you're like, hey, we run out of cash, or I have no money, or the idea didn't work and we are shutting down." And then I'm like, "Fair enough. You're absolutely right. As a matter of fact, I don't want you to come here because I can't have that responsibility over you right now. You have wife, you have kids, and yeah, you are absolutely right. Maybe I can't pay you next month, right?" And I knew I had a really low, super low budget back then. So I mean, I lost half of my money to the outsourcing agency, and I was all left with 18,000 euros, guys. 18 fucking thousand euros to build the whole list. And of course, I had also my personal life, right? I had to eat, I had to pay my bills, I had to pay my grocery, gas, all that, internet, electricity, you name it, right? So it was like a roller coaster. It got me 8 months to gather my team so we can start the project all over again. 8 fucking months, guys. You know, execution is one thing, but not giving up is whole another topic. I could have I could have given up first time when it didn't work out with that outsourcing agency. Didn't work out, lost my money. It's not for me. I'm not for tech. It's not, I'm not. I should do something else. It's just not for me. I tried it, didn't work out. I should do something else. Because same time that I was trying to gather team and all that, I reached out to some of my friends that they're from rich families, they had money and all that, and I was like, guys, I have this idea, and they all love the idea. You know, no one was like, no, it's not gonna work. Everybody were like, wow, this is actually missing in the market. I have all kind of apps on my phone right now, but the only app that I don't, it's an app for reserving a restaurant or a nightclub. And actually, maybe tonight I want to go out. I don't know where is like the hip hop party, where is the R&B party, where is the all those kind of details. And if I want to book a table, I have to now restaurant booking a restaurant table is easy, right? But booking a nightclub, good luck with it. You only have to know someone. If you don't, you're fucked. Restaurant, you don't need to know people. You just call, you just dial, you just walk in. If they have tables, they're gonna give you. If no, they're gonna put you at the bar until they can find you a table. Otherwise, you name it. Or worst case scenario, you're gonna go next door. You're gonna find the next restaurant. You're gonna eat something, right? Worst case scenario, you're gonna end up in McDonald's, and then you're gonna get something and eat. You're not gonna come back home hungry, right? But booking a nightclub table is a whole pain in the ass, especially back in the days. So to go out for a nightclub, you only had to know someone. Now let me give you an example. Let's say you're at home right now, you're working, or and then you wanna party tonight. It's your birthday, or your wife's birthday, or your girlfriend name day, and you wanna get the club table and invite some friends. What you gonna do? Picking up the phone again. I'm talking about back in the days. I'm not talking about 2025. Now most of the nightclubs, they have a website. You can book directly or through apps, stuff like that. Back in the days, I was like, but back in the days, you had to, um, I mean, if you could find their phone online or go to their Instagram page or anything, you would call. Nobody would pick up because it's a nightclub. It opens up like how they operate. They start opening up at like 8 p.m. like internally. I'm not saying opening up the doors for guests to come in. So they start preparing the tables, the bottles, sound check, all that. And most of the time they open up 12 midnight or 11 something early birds, 11:50, 11:30, sometimes 10 p.m. depending on the place. So simply you cannot wait until 10, 11 p.m. for someone to pick up your call and to give you a table. What you gonna do? Like 11 p.m. call your friends, hey everybody, dress up. We are going to that party. That's not gonna happen. Or what about if you wait until 11 p.m. or 10 p.m. to call them and then you hear like, no, we are sold out. Then what about what you gonna do? You can easily do walk-in because there are risks. You don't wanna they might not let you in and stuff like that if they don't know you, so you don't want to feel like ridiculous or stupid in front of your friends, or that you invite them for your birthday. Hey, we went to this place, they didn't even let us in, right? That sounds kind of like awkward. So you only had to know someone, give big tips, and then again from the other side, it was kind of also from the manager side, it was kind of also so many issues happening from the also B2B side. Because all right, let's say I want to go somewhere, I don't know the Met, I'm calling one of my friend who's a baller, he's gonna hook me up, and then my friend is calling the Met or the manager, and then he's like, hey, my friend is coming, who give them a nice table because of me, and then yeah, of course, my boy, don't worry, we got him. So someone else basically stepped in for you. And then, how about if you don't show up last minute? How about if you just feel tired and then you are like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to go out tonight, and I just want to watch a movie or something, Netflix. And then what? And then your phone is on silent. You're not even picking up. You don't even care. And then your friend next day is gonna be mad at you. Hey, like, dude, you fucked me up. The Met was mad at me. It's like, bro, I booked a nice table for your friend. He didn't even show up, and somehow I lost my reputation because of you. So there's so many other things I can come up with you with an example. So there's so many things happening in here right now, right? So I was talking to many of my friends. I was trying to raise money. I was going to my rich friends and I was like, dude, I have this idea. They all loved it, but they were all telling me, bro, I have no idea about tech. Like my family, they do construction. I want to enter construction, constructing with my family, like building houses, apartments, towers, things like that. The other one was like, hey, I really love it, but my dad is into shipping, and I want to go there. So they all had their own, family things, and no, nobody knew tech. Nobody wanted to enter. And if someone knew tech, most probably there were some developers that I knew from here and there, and then they all wanted money or a decent salary that I couldn't provide. So here is the second part where I could give up, and I did not. And I was like, "Ah, fuck it. If they're not doing it, I'm doing it." Doesn't mean like if they're not doing it, I should give up too. If my friends are not doing it, I should, it's not for me too. I'm gonna do it. I believe in myself. So it got me like 6 to 8 months that we gathered this team, and then all right, we are here, guys. This is the idea. This is the vision. Let's start building. So we had to start everything all over from scratch. Guys, you have no idea. At some point, when we were into the hiring process, in-house hiring process, when I left that agency, um, it was like 6 to 8 months until gathering the team. Nobody was even working for me. Nobody would even believe. And then at some point, I couldn't even breathe in my own, home office. I was like, I used to hold my neck, and I'm like, I used to do like that, trying to take a deep breath, and then I'm like, why all this has to happen to me? Like I couldn't even breathe. I'm like, when I will hire some people, like, will it even happen? And then when I gathered the team, so here all just the problems are starting again. Then I'm like, okay, 1 week passed, 2 weeks, Jira, tasks, going through daily stand ups, all that, and along the way, I was learning, right? So imagine from a guy who didn't know shit about tech, now he's in house living with devs from morning till night, daily stand ups. See, I mean, I used to say to my devs, hey, show me the fucking codes. I never seen codes in my life. I want to know how do they look. And then when I was sitting, behind their desk with them while they were working, I was like, dude, how the fuck do you even understand? It's like Chinese to me. How do you even understand? Like they were going to Xcode and stuff like that coding. I'm like, how do you even understand? And they were explaining me. So basically, I made my own startup, like a private college to me, so I can learn tech. And of course, along the way, I was studying every single night. Guys, you have no idea. I was like on the University of YouTube, learning and learning and learning. I was like watching like Android development, iOS development, backend, front end, DevOps. I was like taking courses. I was watching like 15 hours straight up, Android development. I was just trying to get familiar as much as possible, trying to get my hands on, right? So here's like 1 week past, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I'm like, guys, oh my god, this is all over happening again, and I'm running already out of money. I start borrowing from my friends. I start selling my stuff. I sold whatever I had. At some point, I didn't have anything else to sell. I mean, nothing, nothing. I even like sold my shoes, my shirts, everything, whatever I could on the website, because I'm good in selling, right? Especially when it comes down to e-commerce, it's really easy. And then there are also even the website that you can sell your second-hand clothes. And I was selling everything. So at some point I didn't have anything, and I started borrowing from my friends, right? And I'm really lucky, really thankful, really blessed that I have some real friends around me that they trusted me and they borrowed me money in the world that no one does. So then I'm like, oh god, this is all over, happening over and over again, and when this fucking product will come out anyway. So after few months, it was kind of like um before the 2020 New Year's Eve. So we were kind of like wrapping up the development, and then here comes the January 2020. Our beta is ready. We are going through tests and all that. And then we go to February 2020. So we are launching, and here and there I'm hearing something about COVID in Italy. People are China dying and stuff like that. Not paying attention, and I'm so happy, finally the product is out, and I'm like, oh my god, boom, I became a billionaire, and all the pains are over. And then out of the sudden, pandemic hit. Guys, do you believe what I'm telling you? Out of the sudden, pandemic came to Greece, and everything is shut down, and nothing is working. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? Bro, I got once fucked, in the agency, in the software agency, the third party that they used to build it for me. And then, second time, in house, no budget, nobody worked for me. And now, the third time, COVID. I'm like, this is not real. This is not real. This is not happening. So even during pandemic, um, you see how many businesses they got shut down. I could easily give up. I didn't even have the money, right, to develop or to build. And it was pandemic. Everything was shut down, especially in our industry. And there were all these concerns if the industry will ever be back again or not. And it was a mess. It's incredible. We as human, how easily we forget things. Like I remember that people they were like, but I was so I'm always optimistic, always. Even during pandemic, I was like, this is temporary. This is like politics, etc., etc. I mean, things gonna come back. But there were people around that they were like, dude, no, the world is ending or the world is changing or you name it. Like restaurants will never open up again or clubs and you name it. Like, but I was optimistic. So I'm like, anybody else in my shoe, they would have given up. Not the first time, not the second time, but at least the third time. They would be like, all right, here I am. No money, COVID, everything shut down. I should have started just, working somewhere else and getting some money, right? But instead, I was like, what am I supposed to do right now? Instead, during pandemic, I started to be like, I started working out a lot, like in house or as whenever I had the opportunity to go run in the hood or just body weights and stuff like that. So from a guy who wasn't working out a lot, I became like I became addicted to this up till today, working out every day. That was a good thing for me. I got into shape because I was a bit like chubby before that. So I got into shape. I lost my fat and I'm working out every day. It came to the point that right now that I'm talking to you guys, so imagine since 2020 pandemic, I'm running 10 kilometers, if sometimes 15, sometimes 20, if I'm in the mood, but at least 10 kilometers every morning when I'm waking up. 10 kilometers straight up, you know, like marathon, chill, straight up. And some days if I'm not running, then I do weights. I hit the gym or a CrossFit or just working out at home, body weights, push-ups. So that was a good thing because I was like when pandemic hit, I was like two things gonna happen, or I'm going to be fat as fuck because hey, no movements, just in your house and eat and watch movies basically, right? Or I have to take care of myself and work out because by the time that this shit is over, I don't want to be like a fat motherfucker like can't even get out of the house. So that was a good thing for me. And the second good thing that I did to myself, I was like, this is a good opportunity for me to educate myself and to level up my knowledge in tech. So imagine like it was kind of like 2 years everything was shut down in Greece. The first year, absolutely everything shut down. So imagine 1 year and I wasn't seeing my friends, nobody. Everybody was like, come to my place. I'm like, dude, are you crazy? No, like we couldn't even get out of the house. The cops used to write us a fine or something in Greece. And then a couple of my friends they used to live near my house, so they could we could just it's like 5 minutes walking. And then they wanted to come to my house. I was kind of like, scared. No, I don't want to get COVID. No, you guys stay there. They were like, dude, I swear we don't have COVID. Just like you, we are in house every day. We are not getting out. I'm like, no, just stay there. So we are FaceTiming anyways. Why the fuck do I have to come to my place? Just give me kind of like, stress or something. And then I was like, I'm gonna turn this into an opportunity while everybody else around me were miserable. Miserable. Oh, I lost 1 year of my life. Oh my God, I had vacation plan. Oh, I was about to get married. Oh, you name it. But I was like, I'm not gonna be miserable. I found finally I found the time that I was looking for to dedicate to my health, working out, and to dedicate to my knowledge and my education. So it was the time guys, during pandemic, I didn't even watch one single movie. One single movie I didn't watch. I was only studying about tech, how to build mobile apps. I was taking online courses. I was studying mediums, YouTube, articles, you name it. I'm telling you, I was like just going to YouTube and searching, like, for iOS development, right? Because we have native apps, iOS and Android. So I was going through both. This week, only iOS. I was just, you know, there are videos on YouTube that, tutorials how to build an app, but then it goes to deep tech that, like, the video is like 23 hours, 24 hours, straight up. So at some point you get, especially beginning, the dev is just coding, and I don't know where he came from, maybe a Scandinavian country, the accent wasn't even good, and then just coding, and I'm just like a guy who's, imagine, just if you don't speak Chinese or Japanese, just someone throw a Japanese book in front of you and they tell you read it, right? So that was my relation with codes, and I'm just trying to understand. And then I was going through all the, the entrepreneur's journey online, and then basically that was the time that I understood the power of online education for free and YouTube. Because before that, as I told you, all I was going doing in YouTube, just, playing some music or watching South Park or Friends, things like that over and over again. So then I'm like, basically, uh, really quickly, I started realizing that why people they go to college, why do they go to university? Like, everything is free online. And guess what? I mean, I was watching all the lectures of Stanford University on YouTube. I even know the name of the teachers and some of the, classmates and stuff like that. So I felt I'm a part of them. Imagine for 1 year, just YouTube, seeing all Stanford universities, like lectures, classes. They used to bring like the like Airbnb founders, stuff like that, interviewing, talking about tech, stuff like that. Then I'm like, there are actually people that they are paying like arm and a leg for this shit. And while I'm here watching it for free on YouTube, then I start actually talking to all my friends. Why the fuck you guys are going to university or college or paying when you can get all those information for free and from the best of the best? Because right now in here, you are going to a college in Athens, right? And do you even trust your teacher? Do you even trust your professor? How about if they are wrong? You're just relying on someone's opinion or someone's knowledge. While, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but you can get that knowledge, but then come home, do your own research, go to YouTube, search, see what do they, same topic, same stuff, but what do they talk about it in Stanford or in Harvard or in, other colleges and universities and other um, people in the industry. And at the end you can, judge and see, who's talking more reasonable and take that approach, or, maybe add your own secret sauce to it. So that was the time that I, understood the power of free online informations and receiving free knowledge from the best, right? So for 1 year, whole 2020, and actually it was 2021 too, the next day, because Greece was like kind of shut down for 2 years straight up. And basically for 2 years, I was just studying, working out, leveling up my knowledge, and, becoming the best at what I'm doing. So here is spring summer 2022. That kind of, COVID was, they open up Greece, they open up the tourism, they open up the islands, we are back to the business, restaurants are opening up again. It was a shit show because the nightclubs were shut down, the restaurants were open up, only outdoor seats, no indoor. Outdoor seats with the small capacity, 4 people per tables. They had to remove so many tables because they had to have a 1 or 2 meters distance between the tables, and everybody had to go with a mask on. Everybody had to be vaccinated and show the proof. And so many people, they were not showing up. It was a shit show, and so many businesses were shutting down. You name it, right? And so it wasn't like, hey, COVID is over, boom, next day everything back to the business and we raise money and we are perfect, right? Because again, like that, again, I couldn't raise any money because nobody was people. I mean, all the investors, even angel investors or VCs, they were like, dude, what are you talking about? We just came like after 2 years straight up shut down, and still nightclubs are not opening, restaurants are not working properly, so many businesses shut down. How do we know in the next 6 months we are not going back to the shutdown again, to the point like, how do you know? Like, and then you're asking me for money. I would never, even I was like, it makes sense. I mean, even if I was an investor, I would never drop money on such a business, or maybe I would wait a little bit to see like what's going on. So we started again. I started. I was happy. I was like, okay, we're back, and but I was all alone, no team, because I lost those devs. Imagine those devs that I was trying my ass off to find them for 6 to 8 months and hiring them. I lost them all through the pandemic because I couldn't afford to pay them, and nothing was working on. So basically, I was kind of left with a shitty beta full of errors and bugs. And here the pandemic is over, and I'm all alone, and I'm like, I'm back to the business. So this is um, the fifth times that I could have given up. I'm like, dude, pandemic is over. All right, what? The industry is shit. Businesses are shit. Nothing is working. I have no devs. Let me do something else. Let's not waste my life, right? So then I'm like, I gotta do this. I'm not gonna give up. I gotta continue. So then I started like going again, reaching to the restaurants, door to door, pitching them, signing them, do the data entry myself, support everything, like everything. I was all alone. And so we passed the summer of 2022, and again during summer we had all these shutdowns, and you name it. It was a shit show. And then I started reaching out to some devs. I was like, guys, I can't pay you, but instead I can give you stock equity and all that. But nobody was interested. Everybody wanted the money. And then I was like, hey, I need help. I need at least someone to help me with the support or the data entry. But again, I can't pay. What am I supposed to do? So one time I'm in my friend's house. They invited me over dinner, and then his little brother was at the college. He was 16, something like that, 16 years old, if I'm not mistaken. And then that time, I mean, it was kind of like the biggest thing happened to me when I went there, and we were all eating, and it was the first time that I met his brother. Because they were from Dubai, and the both brothers, their parents, they send them to Greece, to go to the American college of Athens. And so first I met my friend, and then after a year, his little brother came to join him, right? So then I'm like, wow, wait a minute, hold on. You guys at the college? They're like, yeah. And then I'm like, that means I can find some interns through you. Could you please just ask your classmates who is looking for a job without any payments, interns, 6 months, and they can come and I can onboard them and teach them, and it's good also for their own future CV. They gain experience, and I was trying to do the sales pitch to getting interns for free. So it worked. I got some really good interns that they came in, they helped me, you know, of course, guys, these guys had no knowledge, right? Zero. I mean, they didn't even know how to actually work with their Gmail, how to make an email on read, or how to reply to all. They will, if there were so many emails, so many email addresses, including in one email, that maybe someone responds, and then you wanna do a reply to all, so all the other people, including, they can see. These guys were doing single reply, and I mean, I had to teach them the most basic things: how to send an email, how to do this is data entry, how to post on Instagram, how to do the support, you know, and all that. But it worked. Um, so I onboard them, I teach them, and it worked. They worked like for 6 months, some of them a little bit more, some of them a little bit less, without any payment. They helped me. And meanwhile, I was just doing sales, signing up, door to door, door to door, door to door, and going all over Athens, getting the boat, going to the Greek islands, going to the different cities. I mean, at some point, I was like, I just if I was somewhere and I was hearing someone is going to the next city, like with car, I was like, dude, can you please take me with you? It's like, why? I'm like, I just want to go there to their downtown and just talk to any restaurant that comes on my way. At some point, my friends were making a joke of it. They were like, "You're gonna see Ali in the middle of the road, doing his fingers for the truck drivers. If you go that way, you can pick me, right?" So that was it. So basically, I was going door to door and signing up, and then the first, we were like trying to grow organically from word of mouth. I used to I used to like beg everyone, guys, please, if you got book from my app. At some point, guys, you have no idea. So the app was live. We had around 30 restaurants, and then we went to 35, and then to 80, and then to 100, to 150, 200, and all that I was signing myself, right? I signed the first 550, if I'm not mistaken, 550 to 600 merchants on my own, door to door alone. And then, but you know what's the funny thing? I didn't have the money to book on my own app to go in one of these experiences. That was killing me. I'm like, God, like this is killing me. So I did all that, and now I want to just book a table on my app, go there, show up, and see actually like like just dine like an end user. But I didn't have the money. So I had to just like, beg my friends, dude, please, like if you are going out tonight or, if you want to go out on weekend or whatever, can you please take me with you? I'll promise I'll pay you back. And, they were like, yeah, of course. What are you talking about? Where do you want? I'm like, here is download my app, da, 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 let me see. And I never forget like the joy, the joyness of the first time that I went with one of my friends um, to a restaurant that we booked from my own app, right? And it was such an amazing feeling. So um, now here I am with some interns, with no money, no devs, app getting like full of bugs and stuff like that. So again, I was reaching to any devs I could, like on LinkedIn, you name it. And then finally, I found a guy who's right now he's my DevOps engineer. And I'm like, dude, I can't pay you, but I can give you equity, right? I can give you a stock, I can give you equity and all that. And he's like, fine. Actually, he works in one of the biggest company in Greece, thankfully. And then he's like, to be honest, I really like the idea. I believe in you. You are hard work. I see your story. But then he's like, to be honest, I wouldn't even work for you for money. I don't like the money. I have money. I'm good. Equity is motivating me to join this adventure. And I'm like, perfect. So on board. But the problem, he was a DevOps engineer. That means he was just dealing with the servers and all that. He was no backend, no mobile, no front end, nothing. So basically, I needed a backend because we had so many errors and bugs. So through him, but once I got him, I'm like, he's a developer, jackpot. He can, of course, he has so many other friends that are developers. So now he can do the talk. Developer to, I'm a founder, I'm a CEO. So anything I say, maybe devs, they don't trust me. They're like, another founder with another idea, like, motivated guy, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I have wife and kids. I need money. But now the whole story changed. Like the guy, developer guy, that I hired, he started talking into his networking with the other devs that, hey guy, there is these things, you want to join, so I got my backend, and then I got an Android devs, and then an iOS. So we start doing the debugging, adding some like features, some basic features that we didn't have, like prepayment, right? Just a simple integration, let's say with Stripe. So we started doing all that, and getting ready for the summer 2020 um, four. Yeah, I was actually like, it was so when I gathered this team, and we were already like kind of finishing the summer 2023, and we finished it with the like, guys, it was hell of work. Imagine like the business was growing, the app was growing on the business side. So I had gathered like 200 plus high-end merchants all over Greece, some of the biggest names. And because they all like the idea, they all like the way that we operated, they all like how we cover their pain points. And I never forget, I went out to some of the biggest name in Mykonos Island, Santorini Island, and they all listened to me. And then they all look at me, and at the end, like they all had the most of them, they said the similar thing. They all look at me and they were like, you know what? Before you, these guys came, that guys came. Like they were talking about the other competitors' name, like right? They were like Open Table came, Racy came, you know. But to be honest, we didn't like them. We didn't see kind of value they could give us or they could help us or something. But what you are talking about the list, is kind of like they all said the same thing. They were all, it's kind of like too good to be true. We want to give it a try, actually, just out of curiosity. Because we heard Open Table, um, pitch, we didn't like it. We heard Resi, we didn't like it. We heard that, we heard this, we heard, we didn't like it. But you are, you know, you want to see what's going on with the list because it's too good to be true. And so here the business is growing, but in development we zero. No development was happening. Zero. We had so many requests. Of course, I wasn't saying to the merchants, guys, sorry, I have no money and I have no devs. Give me some time. They would be like, fuck you. Why the fuck do we need you, right? You were supposed to deliver, and now um, you don't have the most basic things. Like we are asking for a down payment deposit. You don't even have a card payment on your app. You can't even make it. This is kind of like a plug-in Stripe or something, dude. You know. But we didn't even have that. So it was kind of, I was praying for summer 2023 to be over because I couldn't take, I'm like, oh god, especially like restaurants we were fine, but for nightclubs and beach bars, they all required card payment. And actually this was also in my sales pitch. It wasn't something that I didn't know, and I heard from the restaurants. Sorry, I heard from the nightclubs or the beach bars that, oh yeah, that's a good idea. We have to put a card payment and a down payment deposit. No, um, that was how I was even pitching them. That was like, regarding your no shows, people not meeting your expectations, there should be a minimum spend. You guys, like, we can, maximize your revenue and all that. Higher, we send you higher spenders. Maybe someone comes to your club, you don't even know how much they are going to spend, and you give them the table, while the other person who's going to spend much more, they cannot get the table because they're he doesn't know the match, or maybe he's a tourist or he's a traveler, he doesn't even know you exist, and so on. So, you know, and then some of the beach clubs for their sunbeds, they were they were calling me. They're like, dude, we have no shows. Can we want to activate the card payment because that's how I got them. And so we want to have like 100 euros. I'm talking about some Mykonoans high end places, right? Because I'm sure you guys have seen them on Instagram. You cannot joke with this kind of guys, with this kind of like big name brands. And then um, he's like, yeah, we have no shows. It's August high season. It's kind of like a it has become like frustration. So they were giving me actually the prices for the sunbeds and minimum spend, so I can just apply in the app while we didn't even have a card payment. So it was kind of like a mess, but it was the time that I gathered these devs on equity, and then not all of them. Some of them they needed payment, but by that time we had some small revenue, so I could pay them, right? And then so we are going. We pass summer 2023. We are entering. Um, the atom, and then we're going for Christmas 2024 and all that. So we made some development, we added some features, and then really quickly, because our revenue was boosting, so I had more room to hire, to do some, some marketing, and hire some support, some devs, some develop, some people that they can help me in the company. Again, I didn't have that budget. I couldn't hire or attract A players. I had to hire C players, not even B players, like super cheap, but it was better than nothing, just only me, right? um, then you know and then I started, looking for fundraising, and I was I could manage to close a seeds round in 2024 and early 2024, and then really shortly after that, we expanded to kind of, we were in all over Greece. We reached to like 800, 900, something like the 1,000 merchant. And then we expanded to Dubai, we expanded to Abu Dhabi. And last year, um, we expanded, last summer, we expanded also to Miami, to America. That was a really big achievement for us, because it's a dream for every startup to enter the American market. It's one of the greatest market. I mean, it's the greatest market in the world to us and to many other company. And now here we are growing and working on our the new version of our app, where we are adding so many new products and features. And my whole point from this is that, guys, you need to execute, but meanwhile you don't have to give up. So I could have given up, like, first place out of the when I got fired in the outsourcing company. Then I could given up when 6 8 months nobody was working for me. And then I could given up when pandemic hit. And I could quit after the pandemic when market was shit, nothing was working. And right after that, when I had no devs and we couldn't grow and no money, nobody would work for me before I found the interns. So I could have given up that time too. So 5 times I could easily quit during my journey. But I'm really, 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 really thankful and to myself that I didn't give up, and that made me to be here today and being one of the players in the market, in the hospitality market, which is super saturated and is a really, really, really um, you know tricky market to enter, and not easy to become successful. And I'm really happy that I didn't give up and I believed in me and I worked my ass off. And one more thing that I'm really happy, early days. By the way, I forgot that. I just want to add this for you guys. So day one, when the idea came to my mind, you guys remember I talked about, like, I was ordering food, delivering food, and then the idea came to my mind. So, and then when I was looking for agencies to build the app for me and all that, I never actually searched if there is any online or reservation system or any reservation app for the restaurants or nightclubs or beach bars. I never searched, I never looked for it. So I thought I'm the one and only, because I knew, like, and whoever I was like, guys, do you know any app for restaurant? Like, no. I know Uber, I know Airbnb, I know Booking.com, I know Spotify, I know this, I know that. So many different things. But nobody knew anything for the restaurants. Then I'm like, bingo, I'm the one and only. So I never looked for it. So I went to the agency, I made the down payment deposit, if you remember, guys, that I talked about it at the beginning. And after 2 months, then I one night, like before going to the bed, I was like, hey, let me actually, nah, fuck, I'm doing it. You know, 2 months passed. This is my roadmap, my agreement. I already paid. So let me actually, instead of asking people, actually search and just go to the app store and write restaurant reservations. That's it, 2 words. Dude, I did that and I couldn't sleep that night because I saw 200 apps. It was the moment that first thing I saw Open Table and then Racy and then other, like, so many other apps. And I'm like, fuck me, bro. I thought I'm the one and only. And I was like, this is all over. Tomorrow morning, I have to call these guys and I have to cut my agreement because, I lost my money. The shit is already exist. Who's gonna use mine? And then I was like so down the day after when I woke up, and I was like, oh shit, I lost my money. Why am I so stupid? I didn't even search before I started something. But I didn't take any action. I slept over it for like some days. And then I start seeing the bright side. I was like, I actually don't want to be the first one, because Facebook wasn't the first one. Um, Amazon wasn't the first one. Um, you know, Google wasn't the first one. Before Google, it was Yahoo. So I started actually seeing all these greatest things, products that they dominated. None of them was the first one. They saw the first, and you know, they fix the pain points. They come up with a better product, better marketing, better approach, right time, and they dominated. And actually, they killed those that they were the first. Then I was like, actually, I don't. I was like, oh shit, I don't want to be the first one. Cause imagine if I was the first one. Oh my god, I would have gone through hell to educate the industry why this is good for you, and then educate the end users that you don't need to find someone through someone to get a nightclub table. So basically, I would have, you know, I would have become old in these things before even it start, you know, working the way that I was imagining, right? So then I'm like, I actually don't want to be the first one. So you know, because at least the first guys like Open Table and Rich and stuff like that, they did kind of half of the way. They already kind of opened the door. They already kind of little bit educate the market. Now I can reach out with a better product, things that those guys couldn't do, and I'm like, here I am. I can do these things for you. You know, imagine, um, you wanna build a car, and then you are like, no, there's so many cars, why should I build one? But then you are like, all the other cars, there is no car that can fly. I can do this with the bottom easily. It can fly, and it can be anti-bullet, and it can this, and it can that, it can be, so you name it. So then you reach out to the people, and they are like, hey, you want to buy my car? Then they're like, no, we're fine, we already have. Then you are like, hey, this is my car, these are the features, this is what it can do for you, these are the securities, and this is the price, is actually cheaper, do you still want to buy it? And then they're like, "Yeah, actually, yeah, it sounds good, or let me take it for a test drive and see how it works." So that was when I understood the power of, it doesn't matter if you are the first or not, but if you are working, smart and hard enough, and you are being dedicated, and you are actually solving problems and doing good for your business partners, and for your target, they will appreciate you, and they will thank for your services. So it doesn't matter if you are the first or 10th or the 100th. And by the way, the market is so big, the market is so huge, that there are rooms for everybody, guys. There are rooms for everybody, just like an open sea. um, you can't be the only fisherman on the ocean. There's so many rooms. Like at the same time, there are so many fishes, and there are so many fishermen, and there are fishes for every fisherman. And the ocean is very big, so same as the market. And now, before I leave, two things, guys. If you have any idea, get up and execute, because someone else will do it, and then you will be sorry for yourself, and you will be mad at yourself, because you will see their success. Second, never give up. Nothing is easy. You don't have to give up. If you don't give up, eventually you will win. You can't fail if you don't give up. Remember that. And last but not least, you don't have to be the first at what you're doing. No one was the first. Especially, we are living today in 2025. It's not back in 1980 something or whatever. It's 2025. Whatever you want to do, whatever idea you have, there are tons of other companies, startups, enterprises, products, you name it, out there doing the same thing. You want to do transportation? Oh, you name it. You want to do accommodations, you want to do hotels, you want to do villas, you want to do delivery, you want to go to fucking Mars or Moon, you want to colonize Mars. There are hundreds of companies already doing it. The only of those that is SpaceX. The famous ones. SpaceX. Blue Origin. NASA. Virgin. That's all you know. Just ChatGPT, Google it. See how many companies and startups are trying to, space tourism, colonizing the Mars, bringing the animals and the factories to, I don't know, to the other planet, you name it. There are so many things, but that doesn't mean that you don't have to do it. Because if it's like that, then you don't, if you have that mindset, then you don't have to, then go kill yourself basically. Because what you want to do, you want to open up restaurants, there are, millions of restaurants. You want to open up hotels, you want to open up, um, you know, Airbnbs, you want to build a reservation since you want to build a CRM for the company, you want to build a CRM for the restaurants, you want to build POS, point of sales, you want to do AI, you want to do, tourist transportation, you want to do something for the AI for defense, you want, what you want to do. There are so many same products and companies out there, so that should not stop you by saying, oh, there's this. And don't hear to people around you, because the moment that you go ask for someone about your idea, people, they're gonna bring you down by telling you, oh, have you heard of this, have you heard of that, have you heard of this, there's already exists, so why should I use yours, or why should people use yours? Because I was feeling the same thing. Oh, there's open table, why should people use yours? Oh, the restaurants are using open table, why should they use yours? And now they are using ours over open table. So execute, don't give up, don't listen to anybody, believe in yourself. Thank you for listening or watching this on YouTube. Please, if you know anyone who's struggling with execution or thinking to give up or is building, share this video with them, because they can learn something and not doing the same mistakes that I used to do, or it might motivate them. And don't forget to leave me a review, because it can help me to level up. And you know I'm not asking you to give me a 5-star rate. Just if you do that, thank you so much. But I need your review, even if it's shit. I need your review. So thank you so much. I see you at the next one. Love you all.